But we were coming back from the build site one day, and we got off the bus, and she was just in tears, just like absolutely heartbroken for the people.
So Current Generation started when we had a student from high school that was a little bit older than me, a couple of years, went over to the Dominican on a missions trip.
And they had the opportunity to meet Haley and Maria. Haley, I believe, began to share her story of how she wanted to pursue med school and she wanted to become a doctor.
They wanted to learn and to become doctors so that they could help get their family out of poverty.
They weren't able to study after school. They had rolling blackouts where they just wouldn't have access to power randomly.
They can't flip a switch and then have electricity, light up their homes.
The only option they have to be able to read or write or go to the bathroom is by burning kerosene or a brush, which is bad for your lungs.
That can impact you and drive you further into poverty.
So they couldn't study, they couldn't further their education, and they had no hopes of going anywhere to get a degree.
And when she came back, she spoke to Ian and said, "This is a serious problem."
I'm Ian Fogarty. I am a chemistry and physics teacher at Riverview High School, and I run the Current Generation program here. Current Generation is a program that we run during school and after school that helps students run through the design thinking process to build lights for other people around the world who are living in light poverty.
I think I just kind of threw myself in and got the soldering iron and tried to get to work.
And so we'd start with a basic idea, a goal that we had in mind of this is a rough draft of what we're trying to create.
From there we learned how to solder wires together and battery packs. And then at the end, when you think you soldered everything together and you had to put it in the plastic case, you realized, I did it wrong, and you have to do it again.
And oftentimes the first prototype or the second prototype or the third prototype didn't work.
Until finally you get the whole light put together and you can put it in a box and mail it.
We started sending out lights and getting the feedback, and then we started to expand globally.
Current Generation has sent lights to the Dominican and Guatemala.
There's Kenya, Angola, South Africa, Tanzania.
India, Nepal, Sierra Leone was a big one.
One of my goals for Current Generation is to increase the number of labels that students put on themselves.
Back in high school, I was a very shy and quiet person. One of the things that I really struggled with was presenting and public speaking.
When I was growing up, I wanted to be a princess, of course. Then I think a secretary, a psychologist, a cheerleader, that was a big goal of mine.
This was something that I managed to avoid through all of middle school and high school. I made special deals with my teachers to find other ways that they could assess me.
Then a nurse, then back to psychology. Then I wanted to be a marine biologist. And then I said, okay, well, I'm not really sure, so I'm just going to go into psychology and hope it goes well.
For myself personally, I felt often a little bit unrecognized, and often you had to pick one channel. You had to be really good at sports or really good in English or really good in math. You couldn't, there wasn't really a space for you to kind of be a multifaceted individual.
And then grade 11 came, or grade 12, and I started with Current Generation having no prior interest. I'm here for my marks and I'm out of here. And then I actually got to work and I saw a little bit of what engineering could be if I wanted it to be, and that was problem solving, complicated math problems.
In a world where I felt like you had to be one thing, it gave me the space to kind of try everything and figure out my passions and understand more about myself and more about the way that I work.
And I went from, not being able to give a presentation to my class of 20 people on a book report to speaking to 19,000 people in Denver, Colorado at a conference where, on one side of me it's Microsoft, on the other side of me it's Samsung, and there I am in the middle talking about this. And I think that that's an incredible opportunity that really did shape the person that I am.
Just so many kids have this one little moment where their life pivots on a moment, where they walk into class one day and they thought one thing, they walk out of class and they think differently. And it happens when kids change their trajectories and discover something about themselves they didn't know.
My name is Sky Abels. I'm going into my 5th year of electrical engineering at UNB.
Hi, I'm Seth Fogarty. I'm currently a high school history and sociology teacher.
My name is Beth Stevens, and I'm about to start at UBC for business.
My name is Leah Roberts, and I am now a teacher. I teach at Moncton High School.
Education doesn't need to stay within a classroom, and that traditional views of what teaching is and what a classroom looks like is, fabricated.
It has really shown me that there's a way to make education circular and instead of linear, and there's a way that you can intertwine other disciplines of STEM and business and communication and languages and all these things.
We can't be afraid to do projects for kids because it's not part of our curriculum. So my dad used to talk all the time about teach kids, not curriculum. This is a chance to teach kids and some curriculum. It's pretty fun. The UN adopted 17 goals for a sustainable future by 2030. Current generation is in line with goal number 4 of quality education and goal number 7 of clear and affordable energy. Aligning my curriculum to the UN SDGs activates student learning, giving them agency to get involved in meaningful ways. We invite you to share how you are incorporating the UN SDGs in your teaching and learning by using hashtag TeachSDGs.
So I did already ask if, or what you hoped for Maria and Haley. I'm just wondering if you have any idea of their existence after you met them.
I unfortunately never was able to kind of contact them after my trip down there. I do know though that Ian had some communication with them for a while and was in touch with them for a couple of years, I think, but unfortunately in the last little while he lost contact with them, whether they moved or whatever it may be. So unfortunately we're not really sure kind of where they're at right now, if they ever did get to be doctors or what happened to them. But it would be nice to find them and to reconnect with them at some point in life would be really cool.